How would you rate your upbringing? Straight up. Perfect, good.
Uh, I'd say even. Not right in the middle. It's not good, not perfect, not bad, but um, coming from divorced parents, it's not easy because you got two different lives. You got to deal with one the mother side life and then the dad side life. So separate households that you deal with. So two different personalities. So 'cause I don't really. It's hard, but it's not perfect.
Let me ask you something fucked up. Because I've known you since childhood. There was never a point where you were spoiled, actually? Like as a child, you try to get bought out, your happiness, like maybe if they compete and all that. That sounds offensive and shit, but I'm just trying to keep it real. Is there any point like that? Like an upside, if you want to call it?
Yeah, well, I got spoiled, but it's not really. It wasn't a competition of, saying who bought me this or who bought me that. It's more, I was the only child, so I'm the only, there wasn't anybody else, so yeah, of course I'm gonna get spoiled. I'm the only one, so that's what I had. But it wasn't like, hey, look what dad bought me or look what mom bought me. It's that's all I'm used to. I don't know that being the only child, so that's all I knew. Even if I was spoiled, it's not it's not easy either. Having no brother, no sister. It's a different thing. I'm supporting myself too, so that's it's not easy.
Dude, as it's happening, what are some of these things? When you say it's not easy, like what exactly do you mean? Like
Well,
what's missing?
if you're at home by yourself, you don't have a brother or sister to go. Hey, let's go to the park. Let's go play or play video games. It's by yourself, so you got to you get very independent very fast. You have to for you grow up a little faster because everything's on you. Your mom and dad, they rely on me to do good things and try to get on path faster. So because I don't have a brother or sister help me out with certain things, I had to learn a lot on my own. So it does it did I feel like it made me stronger. Having uh being independent all the time. So
Well, how'd that translate? Say in middle school or high school. You see all these kids that have brothers and sisters, they're all happy and shit. I'm assuming you're a little more mature at the time, right? How did you make friends back then?
uh not really easy because the I don't have an experience to learn from an older brother or sister. So a lot of the experiences I learned from friends, in which they're the ones that taught me a lot, and they're like my brothers or my sisters or however it is. It's you learn from the surroundings. That's what made me learn a lot of different things. I didn't learn from having siblings.
Let's cut to the chase, man. You said divorced, right? How old?
Uh,
Even I don't know this.
this was 3 years old, so I don't even remember them being together.
Who'd you spend the majority of the your time with?
My mom.
So, what, like 5 days to two? What was the split?
It was every other weekend I was with my dad, so it's probably like 2 times a month I would see my dad on like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing.
What'd you guys do?
With my dad,
Yeah.
well, he was in another relationship, so it wasn't. Then she had kids, so it was pretty much they were like my yeah. I was living with them on the weekends. They're like not a brother and sister, but that was just uh I think I wasn't treated like a brother or sister, so it was just kind of just it's like combined families or whatever you want to call it. It's not easy, so but it's just basic stuff, not nothing amazing.
So, what's the bottom line? Were you excited to see those 2 days come up? Or did you dread it? What was your feelings towards that every time you knew it was coming?
Dreaded, because
Shit.
it's I was only used to my mom the whole time, so whenever I go to my dad's, I didn't enjoy it. It's not something that I look forward to. So, and especially, he has a different relationship, and the other person, I don't, the other, they're her kids and everything, I never got along with. So, and it wasn't something I look forward to.
How long did that hold up?
For a long time, I think till probably like in my 20s, they were together. Probably like 20, in the 20s, but her kids were much older, so they're like 10 years older than me. So I didn't really interact with them at all. I don't keep in contact or nothing like that. It was never a good relationship anyway, so it was just bad overall.
That's strange. So when you hit 18, you start getting older and shit, nothing changed in your head?
Yeah.
Concerning,
Yeah.
did you ever try to be cool with them, or
Yeah, you try,
just drop? Yeah.
try, but it's just that, that relationship or whatever. It wasn't, you could say hi or whatever, how's it going, that's it. But if I really care, no. But that's just the way it's always been for me. Even people could change, but I never really opened myself up to that kind of that relationship to say, hey, how's it going, that stuff. I don't really care for it.
How about, did you ever get a chance to get heart-to-heart talks with your dad? Or if you did you take the opportunity?
Yeah, I think it's when that stuff like that, the heart-to-heart talk was when I got older. It never really happened when I was younger, because he's not that type of person. He kind of keeps up a wall, so it didn't happen until when I got older, past my 21.
What kind of shit that you're willing to share? What did you try to address?
Life stuff, just basic life stuff. He's been through a lot. A lot of I learned a lot about work from him, and that's what helped me for my career. So a lot of those things, and he wasn't like the greatest dad, but I did learn a lot from him about life, and a lot of things about basic things I need to know. It wasn't easy though.
Let's talk some shit about the resentment. What are some of the things you didn't like?
Number one was drinking, because that's a bad habit that was on a daily, but I kind of understood it after, like when I got older, where that the alcohol was like an everyday part of life. I kind of understood it because he lived at a time where his stress level was huge, because I know about his work. So he had, a lot of his downtime was alcohol. So that's one of the things of resentment. So
what are your earliest memories of him drinking?
Maybe like 10 years old, something like that. 10, 12 years old, in that range somewhere.
What kind of behavior are you talking about? Something directed towards you?
No, nothing.
Never?
No violence, or no. There wasn't no anger or yelling or whatever. It was he just drank. It wasn't. I never had any issues with It's just a matter of if he drinks too much, he gets sick. He starts throwing up, and just causes him to be sick. So a lot of things he can't do on the weekend because he's just throwing up. There's nothing. He was never violent or mean or anything like that.
Damn, you're lucky. Shit, my dad used to drink whiskey That was his thing. Fuck, we're in the house right now. Me and my brothers, we used to hide downstairs, just screaming, yelling. Shit, we used to bring him beers all the time. You didn't have none of that? None of that bad shit?
No, I was never part of that kind of to to yelling or any type of like mental stuff like that, and I never had that. It was just I see it from my dad. He never gave it. I never got backlash from his drinking. It's just I see it. I know, older as you get, you see it. You know what it is, but I never, I never took I never took anything. I know in we've had arguments, but I never really fought about that.
What is your relationship to your mom?
My mom's pretty much my number one support. She's total opposite of my dad, so everything about what's good and how to take care of myself I learned from my mom, and I owe her a lot for everything.
So in the end, even though your parents divorced, bad, not bad? What's up?
Yeah, I think it worked out because my mom's a different person different person from my dad. So I think my mom explains it that she would be unhappy to be with a person like that, and I understood it because I see it from my dad's part where alcohol takes a big effect on any relationship. It could be if that's one of the main things. If it's someone's vice, alcohol is a heavy thing, and it could flip any relationship. It could scramble any relationship, and I know that that's the thing I see. How about for you? Experiencing that, does that make you stay away from alcohol, or you just don't want to? Did it give you anything to try it or make you think any different of it?
Shit, it put me 1000% against the idea.
Well, from your dad's past stuff, did you guys ever discuss that, or did he ever apologize, or is that something that's just
that's a great question.
Not discussed? Or?
To my knowledge, my father's similar to yours in the sense that based on his generation, it's just not something that's too common, Oh, how can I put this? I came to terms of peace on my own for myself. Seeing as how I settled it on my own with myself, I never really saw a reason to approach my father and seek either apologies or explanations, because I had settled it in my own way. And like I said, I mean, if there was an option today to tell him, hey, look, man, concerning all the things that I thought were wrong when I grew up, I wouldn't seek for him to clear his name, because like I said earlier, in a twisted way, I walked out a better person anyway. And in a twisted way, I'm almost thankful for the way that things played out. So I don't think he owes me anything. I don't think we need to clear up anything, because I'm actually grateful for the way things played out, as twisted as it sounds. Only thing I need to make sure of on this channel is I don't wish that upon anybody, but I see value in bad experiences. Oh, some people aren't lucky, right? They'll take the other route, the dark side, or they'll head in the wrong direction, but it was not the case with me. Or maybe it was. Hey, maybe it was, because I just put out that story of using drugs and all that stuff.
But that's a phase. We all have our we have to find that channel to let it out. So if it's using good things, bad things, we all find that one thing, that we still gotta we gotta get away from certain things.
Good. Well, what did you, what was some of your vices?
My vice, I never, I'm not really into drinking, so that was out. Probably like the other, my vice was probably gambling. That's probably the only thing that I had to learn how to control, because it's kind of like that's kind of an escape. So you get a high from it if you're making money or whatever. It gives you that high, but when you lose, you feel that down part. You know, the down part. It's like you get used to. You're so used to the down, so you get used to losing or whatever it is, that rock bottom part. It doesn't. You kind of become numb towards it because you're used to certain things, disappointments or whatever. But I would say one of my vices, probably just the gambling part, was pretty. It was pretty bad.
I said how I felt about growing up and seeing mainly my dad, but there's other family stuff too that's not perfect. In the end, do you look back and say, oh, that was a fucked up time? How did you accept it or cope with it? What is your perspective on it as of today? When you think back on everything that hurt you, whatever, bad stuff, how do you perceive it now?
It's a learning experience. Because I learned all the good stuff, most of the good stuff, majority, 99.9% from my mom. How to take care of myself, how to be responsible, and I learned a lot of the bad stuff from my dad. So I have the kind of like the good and evil balance. So, and I was in the middle of that. So, I learned a lot from both of them. I don't have no resentment, no anger.
When did you come to that conclusion that you didn't? If you can remember from whatever age that you did hold a grudge or any resentment, do you remember that turning point?
When you hold the resentment, was probably when my father was still living with his girlfriend, and it was the whole relationship. That part I think was very toxic. I held resentment because that was a shitty relationship for him, and he wasn't in a good place, and I did not want to spend time with him at all. So I chose not to. I think that was sometime between middle school or high school. I can't remember, but I totally, kept my distance. So that's the resentment I had. And then then once they split up and went separate ways, I think that's where I wanted to, build a stronger relationship to understand where he's coming from. And now, I understand, it wasn't easy for him.
What are you gonna do when you have a kid? What kind of father are you gonna... What are some of the most important, values that you're gonna try to press?
The thing of always want to be there for the kid, no matter what. The priority would be for the kid to know that I will always be there, and don't worry if I'm not gonna drink, so not to worry if I'm gonna be one day pissed off or yelling or angry or whatever. I gotta make the priority number one to keep the kid happy. That would be something, that's a priority.
Let's just say you faced the challenge of wanting to divorce. No offense. I mean, if you went through it, say you found yourself in a position that was challenging as a parent, would you try that much harder to keep the family together? Is there any influence from your past that would affect that if you were in those shoes?
Well, I've been in a relationship with someone that has kids, so and I know it's not easy for the kids because I've seen it or I experienced it being from divorced parents. So my ex-girlfriend didn't have a good balance of her own part, so it was difficult. Overall, just that relationship itself was difficult, and then she didn't, especially with having two kids. I treated them like they were my own, but at the end of the day, I can't. I'm not their father, and it's not easy because I know I could take the responsibility, but still I'm not their father to take care of them, in which they have their own fathers that are alive and still part of their lives. So but there's only so much I could do, and it's not easy. And even if once we broke up, I know the kids are going to be hurt by it because I enjoyed spending time with them, they enjoy spending time with me, and it's I learned a lot. So when my next relationship, however it goes, then I'm gonna know what it's like to have kids, and it's you learn from it in a messed up way, but and the bad things we all learn from, and it carries us on to the next phase of life or whatever we go on to. For me, the negatives, I made it into a positive. You take it, you build it, and you learn from it, and I don't want to go backwards. I keep moving forward.